This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Fiesta Shows.
This holiday season, experience the magic of the celebration of lights. Drive through over a mile of glittering road transformed into a wonderland of color with more than 1 million LED lights in the Merrimack Valley, South Shore, Central Mass, and Maine. Now through January 3rd, save on tickets and enter to win at fiesta.onedegreeoutside.com.
Sunday recording of an Insights video here. Everything you need to know about the storm that's incoming this week, but we've also got an event going on right now. A reminder, we are New England's first and only streaming network, and you'll find it on your smart TV, online, and in our app. And a reminder about our app, it's everything you need to know in the forecast, right? But having said that, when it comes to snow amounts, trust our videos because that's coming straight from us. It's hard for us to edit every single city in town all across New England with 1,000 of them, right, in the app. So keep in mind our videos will always give you our direct thinking, and we try to keep up with the app as best we can on that. 25% off Inside Track and Above. I mentioned this because we do pre-storm live streams, doing one Sunday, doing one Monday leading into these storms. You can kind of chime in, ask questions, things of that nature. So check that out, membership.onedegreeoutside.com. Picked up 10 to 12 inches of snow in Chicago. So it can happen, and it's happening. This particular system that did that is the one that's coming in and bringing us some milder air right now. The storm center itself is going to cut through southern Canada, but the blue line is a cold front. It is effectively bringing in the colder air behind the system. So you're in the 40s out ahead of it through southern New England, but notice that colder air surging southward on a north wind. That's what sets the scene so that we're ready to go for a winter event as we head into Tuesday. On the big picture, high pressure cresting over the northeast, chock full of cold air. That'll be with us Monday night. Tuesday, here comes the system. There is a rain snow line. Nailing it down is always key, and this far out, you're never going to get it exactly right. Thought process is it comes off the coast and dances to 95 and 495 during the course of the day on Tuesday with snow farther north. The question will be, does the storm track go over the Cape, over the islands, or southeast of the islands? And that will have a big impact on just how far inland and how far north the rain snow line goes. Either way, quick hitting system, it comes to an end as we get into Tuesday overnight. It's gone by Wednesday, and a new disturbance with some snow showers Thursday doesn't look to bring that much in the way of accumulation. So we'll start with what's going on right now. We've had snow coming down in the north, but notice as we get through our Sunday evening, it certainly slows down return travel from the holiday weekend, but it's mostly raindrops. There's not big road implications. In northern New England, there will be some slick spots that linger, and even some early morning snow showers still ongoing in northern Vermont and the great north woods in New Hampshire tomorrow morning. Total additional snow on top of what you've had through Sunday afternoon, evening, and night, generally 1 to 2 inches in the white, the blue picking up 2 or a little bit more, and then those dark blues of the high terrain is where you may pick up 3 or 4 inches of new snow. Precipitation out of this event, not a real big deal, talking about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of precipitation, again, out of the one going on right now. There's much more than that that's coming as we get to the Tuesday storm. But here's how we set the stage, all right? Low temperatures for tonight drop down to or below freezing in a number of spots. Tomorrow, your high temperatures never get beyond about 40 on average. The breeze is blowing. There's a wind chill. It feels like the 20s to 30s, the warmest time of the day, and you'll believe that there's a chance of snow as we get into Tuesday when you feel tomorrow. Notice Monday night's low temperatures locked in for snow in a lot of areas. The farther south you come, not necessarily. A light southerly and southeasterly wind blowing. This is the surface temperature forecast going into the upcoming storm. The red line is the melting line. Notice it goes way south of us Monday night, but Tuesday, even by 8 in the morning, it's recoiling northward, coming through the Boston Metro, setting up near 95 and 495 through midday on Tuesday and into Tuesday evening. This tells you if you're near the coast, your amount of snow is likely going to be much less. If you're in southeastern Mass or Rhode Island, you may not get much of anything at all. And the farther north you go, the more locked into the cold you would be. It's not just temperature at the surface. You can go up into the cloud, let's say 6,000 feet off the ground. Watch this, the red line, again, representing what we have for a freezing line or a melting line. Goes way to our south, but during the storm starts to come northward again and actually comes all the way up to the Mass Pike by 7 p.m. If you're going to be warmer than the melting point in the cloud by Tuesday evening up to the Mass Pike, that should really tell you you're going to have to limit the amount of snow that falls south of the Pike. Most of it, the higher amounts anyway, will be found when you get north of the Pike and then running up into much of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So if you were to look at the clouds and radar forecast, Monday is nice and quiet, just chilly. Monday night, the clouds begin to drift in, and by Tuesday morning, the first of the snow is breaking out across western portions of New England by by about 7 a.m. Notice as we get to late morning now, we start to mix with raindrops as it picks up in intensity through the Metro West. The farther north and west you go, the colder it is. I would not take this rain snow line verbatim from this far out. We're going to have to nail it down as we get closer. But it does tell the story I just set up, which is probably somewhere between the 95 and 495 corridor. You've got a rain snow line. Farther north and inland than that, you've got more in the way of snow. There will likely be a mix either side of the Mass Pike to cut down on amounts, and very little in terms of snow the farther southeast you go. And that's exactly what we've got for an early snow estimate. Again, always really upfront and honest with you. We are still far enough out that there's a chance we really blow it in some spots. When you're this far out, that's just inherent. But having said that, I think if we're going to have to make changes to this, we tried to run middle of the road. We may need to go ahead and squeeze this gradient tighter. I think the question just becomes, do we squeeze it tighter by bringing higher amounts south and east, or by bringing lower amounts north and west? So in other words, we got to tighten that up. We just have to figure out where the rain snow line is going to be in order to do that. Same thing on the south side. We looked at that warmth coming through the cloud layer, right? So you're going to have to tighten this. My guess is we'll tighten it on the southern side and have a quicker uptick of snow with less to the south. But TBD on exactly how it's going to shake out. Northern New England, it's interesting because it all just depends how long the storm lasts. Remember I told you it doesn't last long, 12 hours, right? You snow an inch per hour, you could get 12 inches of snow, and certainly that's the case in the southern greens, we think, in southwest New Hampshire and the high terrain, generally a big broad 8 to 12. Otherwise, having said that, if we end up limiting the amount of precipitation on the north side, we may have to drop these amounts just somewhat across the north country. We'll keep a close eye on that, but this at least gets you started out with your overview. Precipitation forecast is going to be substantial. I mean, you got a lot of water that comes from the sky, and that's why we've gone with that 8 to 12 across such a large area of central and southern Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, because you're getting into that much precipitation. The farther south you go, it's going to be greater amounts of precipitation, near 2 inches, but it's mostly raindrops. In terms of wind, it's not a huge wind producer. The storm is just kind of strengthening as it goes by us. So yeah, on the Cape and the islands, we may gust 40 or 45 miles per hour, but you're warm enough to be mostly in a form of rain. We'll see if we can snap any cold down on the backside of the system overnight Tuesday night to cause some icing, although right now, not super concerned about that happening where it doesn't snow. And then there goes the system really kind of firing up the wind out over the Scotian slopes by the time we get to Wednesday. Mariners, there is an impact on this for you. I mean, as we get from Monday to Tuesday, the waves come down. But when you start to crank that wind back up going into Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and Wednesday, the waves come up. Wednesday morning, you've got a high tide later on in the morning, so there is the chance for some minor coastal flooding along our typically vulnerable spots, but we don't expect it to be a big coastal flood event by the way it looks right now. Waves start coming down and may go up again as the wind kicks up heading into that Thursday disturbance. Just a reminder again, you can follow it all. I do expect we'll be doing live streaming on our streaming network, on your smart TV, online, and on our app. Of course, everything always at onedegreeoutside.com.